Howdy and welcome to another episode of Postcard from Morehead. I'm Larry Dixon. It is cold outside today. It's like 36 degrees out there. So when it's that cold, it is time for soup. And what are we doing today? We are doing 15 bean soup. This is Hearst HamBeens. So I've already put them in the pot. I have filled the pot with water, and what I need to do is let these beans soak overnight. So I've got it full of water and the beans in here. But before I put these in the fridge, I've got a whole onion I'm going to put in there. I have chili powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, black pepper, salt, and I'm going to use fire roasted diced tomatoes. Give it some extra flavor. And in the pack of beans was Cajun seasoning, ham beans, and I also have a pound of ham. A pound of ham that goes into these beans, and 2 cloves of garlic. So that's the ingredients. So when we come back, you're going to see that what I'm going to do with this better than bouillon. So I'm going to put these in the fridge. Let them soak overnight. Things have soaked overnight. I'm going to take these lovely beans out of the refrigerator. And the water's kind of dingy looking. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to strain these beans. Maybe you can see there the water's rather dingy looking. That 1 pound of beans sure swelled up and made a huge pot of beans there. I'm going to run this water through there until it runs clear. Okay, that looks clear. I'm going to put the beans back in my pot. And I can see already I'm going to have to change to a larger pot. Well, I have emptied this pot where they soaked overnight. I have cleaned them, strained them, tried to get the water, that dingy water out of there. The recipe calls for 8 cups of water. So this is a 4-cup measuring container. So there's 4. One more of these is going to make 8. So there's my 8 cups of water. Looking good down in there. So next thing is, what's this better than bouillon chicken broth? This is just water. I want to add some real flavor, so I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of this bouillon and give some flavor to my beans. So that's got my bouillon, and so at this point, the next thing I need to add is my ham. I got this cubed ham. Recipe calls for 1 pound of ham, and that's exactly what's in this pack. So I'm going to dump it in. Look at all that ham. That's what I'm talking about. Flavor town right there. Give it a stir, mix that bouillon up in there. My beans, my ham. So while that's coming to a boil, my other ingredients go in close to the end of this. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and chop up my onion. All right, going to switch to my ulu knife. There we go. And another thing I need is can opener. So I'm going to go ahead and open my can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to finish cutting up these onions. So there's my 1 cup of onion. I've got just a little bit left over. The next thing I need to do is chop up my garlic. As you can see, I have come to a rolling boil. The instructions said to turn it down to a simmer, so I'm going to turn my heat down. And at this point, I'm going to add my onions now that it has come to a rolling boil. So I have added my beans that have soaked overnight. I've got my ham in there. And now I've got the onions in. Plus, I put in 2 tablespoons of bullion for that extra flavor. Give it a stir. It's already smelling good. Now, this is the hard part. I'm going to wait 1 hour, come back and check my beans, and if they're almost done, that's when I add the seasoning, the salt, the pepper. That's when I add the garlic and my roasted tomato. And then in the last 1 or 2 minutes, that's when I put in this flavor packet. So I'm going to set the timer and we'll be back in an hour. Well, I've let them simmer for 1 hour, and I'm going to see how close we are to being finished. I'm going to say another 30 minutes because the recipe called for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So it's been an hour. They're getting there. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my tomato. Here is my chili powder, tablespoon of chili powder. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. My salt. My pepper. Give it a stir. And my garlic at this point. So this has been 1 hour. I'm going to put my lid back on, bring it back up to a simmer, and in the last 2 or 3 minutes, just before I call it done, that's when I add the HamBeens Cajun seasoning. My 15-bean soup has came to a rolling boil, then simmered for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And the beans have reached the texture that I like. They aren't hard, but they aren't mushy. So this cooking time, you have to kind of adjust that to where the beans have a texture that you like. So according to the instructions, in the last couple of minutes, that is when you add Hearst HamBeens Cajun seasoning. So the last 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to add that seasoning in there. Give it a stir. Get it all mixed in there really nice. So while it's doing that, I encourage you to hit that subscribe, like, and share button, and share this with all your friends, your neighbors, even people you don't like, because I sure do appreciate it. Your comments, your thoughts, and your suggestions for future recipes and future episodes, I greatly appreciate those. And I think we are ready for my official taste tester. Lenore! Hello, Lenore. I'm sure glad you could make it with us today. And I got you a little spoon right there. And I'm going to take my big spoon. Thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. This is good stuff. That Cajun seasoning really added some kick to it. But then we like spicy stuff. Some people may not. They may not even like the tomatoes in it. But this is good stuff. So this is Postcard from Morehead. I'm Larry Dixon. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends and neighbors. Yep.